A follow-up now on a story we first brought you last night. A suspected drunk driver who crashed into a house, narrowly missing the couple living there, was rearrested hours later after he was caught driving another vehicle with an open beer. The suspect was released again, and tonight police and legal experts say the law makes it very difficult to hold impaired driving suspects in custody. Kristen Robinson reports.
When a suspected drunk driver careened into a house early Thursday morning, he climbed out of this crumpled Jaguar sedan and fled the scene. The 51-year-old suspect was arrested, hospitalized, and released. Less than 7 hours later, a neighbor spotted him getting into this minivan with an open beer. The suspect was rearrested and taken to police cells to sober up before being released again.
This is the sort of incident that tests the limits of human tolerance, perhaps, but the reality is we don't keep people in jail unless we absolutely have to.
We have to be able to show that there's a likelihood that another offense might be committed if we were to release somebody.
Police must follow the law, and in this case they know who the suspect is, where he lives, and with both of the vehicles he has access to impounded, there was no indication he would get behind the wheel again.
After this gentleman yesterday was arrested for the second time, he did remain with us for a number of hours until we could fully satisfy public interest to make sure that he wasn't a risk to himself or to anybody else in the community upon his release.
Had the couple sleeping in this bed not escaped unharmed, experts say the suspect likely would have ended up behind bars.
If there had been a tragic death or bodily harm, it may well have been that the person might have been detained in custody for a few days or a few months, depending on the circumstances.
This is the kind of story that makes you think, what will it take to get some drunk drivers off the road? Clearly, mere policing and being arrested is not going to do it.
6 years ago, a 53-year-old Saanich man with a drunk driving record was arrested and released after rear-ending another driver at 10:30 a.m. His blood alcohol level 5 times the legal limit.
Normally, when we consider breath amounts into the 400s, people are near death.
No charges were laid because the driver did actually die weeks later. In this case, the suspect was released on a promise to appear in court in a few weeks.
Some short, sharp choke chain has to be applied in a case like this. The reality is we can't afford to, nor do we want everybody in jail pending their trial. Where people just don't get the message, that's what has to be done.
Because it's before the courts, BC Solicitor General cannot comment on the most recent Saanich case, but she says the Superintendent of Motor Vehicles has the authority to intervene anytime a driver becomes a risk to public safety.